आप okay, share screen and okay, today we are going to discuss about how to describe an image or diagram in task 1, IELTS task 1. Okay, so here you can see the picture of some diagram here, the process diagram. In process diagram means that there is some process that starts from one point and ends at some point. Okay, and sorry. So you're describing a diagram for IELTS academic writing class 1. Describing a diagram or a graph for IELTS exam can seem like a scary task. However, all you need to do is have a clear understanding of what is expected of you. Strategy for describing a diagram. Let's begin with the general outline. First, pay attention to the title of the diagram. So first thing which we will see, that will be the title of diagram. Title of the diagram. So this will tell you what the diagram shows. And then next, examine the diagram, pay close attention to the main parts of the diagram, the relationship between these parts, any further explanation. Lastly, keep in mind that your text must contain at least 150 words and try to spend around 20 minutes on this task. And if we see this picture, you will come to know, yes, here is the picture, and this is the process diagram. Okay, and this is the size for you so that you can see it properly. See this process diagram. Okay, so here you can observe it. So this is the sample of the process diagram. This is CO2, okay, fossil fuel emission, and there are different stages in this process diagram. So the one and the first and the most foremost thing which we are going to learn about the strategy. Okay, I have already told you about the strategy, and then organization of a structure for your description. Create a plan for your description. The structure usually contains three parts: the introduction, the main body of text, and the summary. Actually, we are talking about the format of the task 1. So how you will organize your task 1. So task 1 is based like introduction. In the introduction of your diagram description, write about the purpose of the diagram. Okay, so in your question they have already mentioned this. Whenever you see the question, on the question there it is mentioned what is the purpose, that this is the process diagram or about the carbon dioxide and whatever it is. The main body of the text, use the main body of text to outline step by step explanation of the diagram. So main body, what is the main body? The step by step explanation. What is the process 1? What is the process 2? What is the process 3? Okay. Summary. In the summary, sum up the principal idea of the diagram. Overall, what is the principal idea of the diagram? Usually, one short paragraph is enough. Okay. Then, 8 steps to describe a diagram for IELTS academic task. So this is very important. The step 1. Now, that we know how to structure the overall description of a diagram, we can continue on to other important parts that will gain your better marks. Here's a list of 8 steps to help you write an excellent description for a diagram and it in turn gain you good marks. So let's do this together step by step. Okay. Now we are moving towards the step by step. The step one, read the title and the image of the diagram and write about it. This will be your introduction. Okay. This image clearly illustrates the carbon cycle. So actually, it is telling us about the carbon cycle. Step two, describe the diagram in detail. This will be your main body of the text when you will describe the diagram. Carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere by aquatic and terrestrial life respiration of the decomposition of plant and animal life. Okay, so decomposition of plant and animal life से जो है कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड प्रोड्यूस होती है. This carbon dioxide is used in photosynthesis for the growth of plants and nourishment of animals. ठीक है, तो यही जो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड है ये फोटोसिंथेसिस ऑफ द प्लांट्स, ये जो प्लांट्स का जो ग़िज़ाइयत का मामला होता है, ये जो प्लांट्स जो हैं with the sunlight, okay, they use this carbon dioxide and nourishment of animals. These organisms die and decompose. This decomposition and waste are transformed into carbon. Carbon dioxide is diffused into the ocean through precipitation when gases in the atmosphere are transformed to water. If the decomposition of carbon in the seabed and land is interrupted, it leads to the development of fossil fuels and such as oil, coal, and gas. So it is converted into these things. These fossil fuels are extracted from the earth of human use. During manufacturing process, factories release fossil fuel emissions, including carbon dioxide, back into the atmosphere. Step 3, add sequencing. ठीक है, इसमें क्या होता है कि सीक्वेंसिंग क्या होती है? सीक्वेंसिंग क्या होती है? पहले ये होता है फिर बाद में ये होता है. जब भी कोई प्रोसेस होता है, जस्ट लाइक कुकिंग, कुकिंग में क्या होता है, हम यही कहते हैं ना कुकिंग में जी, पहले जी इसको फ्राई कर लें, फिर इसको ऐसे कर लें, फिर इसको ऐसे कर लें, फिर इसको ऐसे कर लें. तो स्टेप बाय स्टेप प्रोसेस होता है. इसमें आप क्या कहते हैं? add sequencing words to your text in order to connect your descriptive sentences and make it flow better. For example, firstly, carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere by aquatic and terrestrial life respiration or the decomposition of plant and animal life. तो जो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड है फर्स्टली ये होती है, यानी इसका मतलब ये है, इसमें ये वाली वर्डिंग यूज होगी, फर्स्टली, नेक्स्ट, वंस, एडिशनली. गॉट इट? यानी आप कोई भी काम होता है फर्स्ट कहते हैं, फिर नेक्स्ट ये होगा, फिर एडिशनली मजीद ये होगा, इस तरह हम यूज करते हैं. ओके. Firstly, carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere by aquatic and terrestrial life respiration or the decomposition of plant and animal life. Next, this CO2 is used in photosynthesis for the growth of plants and nourishment of animals. तो यही उनके लिए यूज होती है. Once these organisms die and decompose, this waste and decomposition is transformed into carbon. यानी ये जो ऊपर आप देखेंगे ना, ये पिक्चर में आपको नजर आएगा, ये इसमें आपका देखते हैं कि ये कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड का ये जो साइकिल है ये सारा दिखाया जा रहा है कि ऑर्गेनिक कार्बन फ्रॉम वेस्ट एंड डेड ऑर्गेनिज्म. ठीक है, और फिर इसकी ये मुख्तलिफ तरीके से रिसाइकलिंग हो रही है कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड की. ठीक है, ये फोटोसिंथेसिस क्या है, ये पौधे हैं, तो जब ये कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इधर जाती है तो ये दिन को जो है वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड ले रहे होते हैं और रात को रिलीज कर रहे होते हैं. तो ये इसका दूसरी तरफ, ये समझ रहे बात? यानी दिन को ये जो भी हम, जैसे हम सांस लेते हैं ना, ये कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड निकलती है ना, तो ये कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड जो पौधों की तरफ जा रही होती है, और फिर जब पौधे जो है दिन को रात के वक्त जो है वो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड रिलीज कर रहे होते हैं. तो ये प्रोसेस चलता रहता है. इस तरह फॉसिल फ्यूल एमिशन, ये जो मुख्तलिफ फैक्ट्रीज हैं ये भी इसमें से कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड निकालती हैं. ठीक है, उसके बाद ये डिफ्यूजन का जो अमल होता है कि इस तरह ये समंदर के पानी में भी चली जाती है और फिर क्या बन जाती हैं, ये गैसेस की शक्ल में, और मुख्तलिफ जो हमारे जो क्या होते हैं जो हम यूज करते हैं चीजें, ये जो गैसेस वगैरह है, तो इनसे मादनियात की सूरत में ये चीजें निकलती हैं। Okay, so the next, after the next, once these organizations die and decompose, this waste and decomposition is transformed into carbon. ठीक है, ये कार्बन है, यानी ये पिक्चर के ऊपर जो एरो के जरिए आप देखेंगे तो वहां पर वाज़ेह तौर पे एडिशनली कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज डिफ्यूज्ड इनटू द ओशन थ्रू precipitation when gases in the atmosphere are transformed to water. कि जब वो गैसेस ये सारा कुछ उसमें प्रोसेस डायग्राम के अंदर ये चीजें लिखी गई हैं, वो एरोस के जरिए आपको वाज़ेह की हैं. Step 4, make sure to include passive form in the description to define an action that is done. In the ocean, this carbon dioxide is converted into sedimentation in the seabed. तो ये सेंटेंस का स्ट्रक्चर बता रहे हैं वो कि किस तरह इन द ओशन दिस कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज कन्वर्टेड इनटू sedimentation in the seabed. Step 5, make sure you paraphrase your second and third lines to avoid redundancy. So actually paraphrase means कि you will not use the same words, you will rephrase them. Okay. Next, this carbon dioxide is used in photosynthesis for the growth of plants and nourishment of animals. Once these organisms die, they are transformed into carbon. When plants are dismantled, when they are converted into some sort of, we cut them, again they become the carbon dioxide. Okay, but plants and animals, organisms. So in organism is equal to plants and animals. Step 6, include conditionals and verb clauses to indicate possible outcomes when describing the diagram. So we can use the conditional and adverbs clauses, like I have already given you the list of different words, adverb clauses and the conditionals that you can use in this writing. Real conditions: if the decomposition of carbon in the seabed and land is interrupted, it leads to the uh, development of fossil fuels such as oil, coal, and gas. Step 7, write a clear summary of the principal idea of the diagram in one short paragraph. This graph clearly indicates the cycle of carbon through the land and ocean. So two places, land and ocean. So step 8, read through your written work. Actually, the step 7 means you write the conclusion, overall conclusion about that. Okay. So here's our final text, proof it for any mistake and errors. So this is the solution of the whole task. Okay, and I will read it for you, and this will give you a lot of help if you will see the language, the organization of the ideas as well. Okay. So firstly, the carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere by aquatic and terrestrial life respiration or the decomposition of plant and animal life. So the first step में क्या होता है जो प्रोसेस डायग्राम में कि ये जो इंसान का जो सांस लेने का जो हमारा रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम है, इससे और ये जो प्लांट्स वगैरह के डिकम्पोजिशन से क्या होता है कि कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड जो है पैदा होती है. नेक्स्ट, दिस कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इज यूज्ड इन फोटोसिंथेसिस फॉर द ग्रोथ ऑफ प्लांट्स एंड नरिशमेंट ऑफ एनिमल्स. ये दोनों के लिए यूज होती है. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट, once these organisms die and decompose, this waste and decomposition is transformed into carbon. यानी ये कार्बन का साइकिल बताया गया किस तरह कार्बन आती है, फिर उसका अगला साइकिल किस तरह है. Additionally, carbon dioxide is diffused into ocean through precipitation, ये जो बारिशें वगैरह होती हैं, when gases in the atmospheres are transformed to water, पानी में तब्दील हो जाती हैं. फिर क्या होता है जी, in the ocean this CO2 is converted into sedimentation in the seabed through the decomposition of marine animals. If the decomposition of carbon in the seabed and land is interrupted, it leads to the development of fossil fuels such as oil, coal, and gases. Okay? These fossil fuels are extracted from the earth for human use. During manufacturing process, factories release fossil fuel emission, including CO2, back into the atmosphere. This diagram clearly indicates the cycle of carbon through the land and ocean. ठीक है, तो ये उसका कंप्लीट सोल्यूशन अभी आपने देखा है. अब अगर आप अगेन इस पे जब गौर करेंगे, when you will come here and you will see this, you will come to know from this diagram that how we have discussed it here. This is the cycle of the CO2, carbon dioxide. Okay, fossil fuel emissions from here. Here you can see the carbon dioxide coming from the trees and going to the trees, and then terrestrial life, respiration or decomposition, and human extraction of fossil fuels. And then you can see that aquatic life, respiration or decomposition. Okay, then diffusion in the water, and then this is the seabed. Okay, this sedimentation here. Okay, organic carbon from waste and dead organism. Okay, and then here you can see downwards, these are oil, coal, and natural gas. Okay, you know that we get such things from the seabed. Okay, this is the seabed. Under the water we can get these things. So this is about the process diagram, and we have seen the steps, and then we have read the solution. Okay, so have you got some idea about the process diagram? Okay, so I hope this will help you a lot about